Reality isn't what you think. From the moment you were born, you weren't taught to understand the truth. You were trained to ignore it. Your perception has been meticulously shaped by systems that never wanted you to realize the immense power you hold within. You've been told that life is a random series of events, that consciousness is merely a byproduct of the brain, and that your thoughts are insignificant background noise, but these are carefully constructed lies designed to keep you docile. The real laws that govern this world, the mechanics of creation, transformation, and influence, have been hidden in plain sight for centuries, and the Kybalion stands as one of the rare surviving texts that dares to unveil them. This isn't some airy-fairy mystical doctrine or abstract philosophical theory. These are raw, ancient principles that were never intended to be diluted or misinterpreted. Once you genuinely understand them, you cease being a passive player in the game of life and begin bending reality to your will. This is your moment to awaken and remember what they conditioned you to forget, that you are not a passive observer adrift in this world, but rather its very architect. You've been systematically conditioned to dismiss the very truths that hold the key to your liberation. The profound idea that the universe operates according to invisible yet unwavering laws, that your mind possesses the power to shape matter itself, that your thoughts generate ripples that extend across dimensions, that reality itself is fundamentally built upon frequency and correspondence. These fundamental concepts weren't simply overlooked in your education, they were deliberately suppressed, buried under layers of misinformation and distraction. The Kybalion doesn't dictate what to believe, it unveils how reality truly functions. And that kind of empowering knowledge is incredibly dangerous to systems built on control and manipulation. Look around you, from meticulously crafted school curriculums to the doctrines peddled by modern science, from the watered-down platitudes of mainstream spirituality to the pervasive influence of pop culture, the underlying message remains consistently the same. Stay grounded, stay rational, stay safely within the lines. They relentlessly push you towards so-called facts, easily digestible figures, and external sources of validation and truth. They actively want you to believe that anything metaphysical, anything beyond the realm of the immediately perceivable, is nothing more than superstition or fanciful delusion. But why this concerted effort to discredit the unseen? Because the moment you begin to grasp the potent laws laid out in the Kybalion mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender, you realize something profoundly terrifying to those in power and liberating beyond measure for you. Reality is programmable, and your very consciousness is the master key. Think deeply about the implications of that realization. If all is truly mind, then every structure that defines your existence, economies, ideologies, imposed identities, can be rewritten, reimagined, and rebuilt from the ground up. If everything vibrates at a specific frequency, then you possess the power to consciously tune your own energetic state to attract or repel specific outcomes and experiences. If cause and effect governs all phenomena, then you are not a helpless victim of circumstance, but rather an active participant in an infinite feedback loop that you were previously unaware of feeding. This is precisely the kind of insight that transforms ordinary individuals into powerful creators, not mindless consumers. And it's precisely why these transformative teachings have been meticulously hidden, diluted, or subjected to ridicule. Most people have encountered fragmented glimpses of these profound ideas through New Age memes, superficially understood affirmations, or fleetingly inspirational motivational catchphrases, but they've never been granted access to the full, comprehensive map. This isn't accidental. The Kybalion was intentionally passed down through secretive schools and clandestine mystery traditions for a very specific reason, because it reveals how to consciously operate reality from the inside out. And those who currently rule the world do so precisely by employing these very principles while simultaneously convincing you that they are nothing more than childish fantasy. You were painstakingly taught that matter is solid, that thoughts are inconsequential and harmless, that magic is mere fiction. Yet those in power routinely use mentalism to subtly influence entire populations through carefully crafted suggestion and relentless repetition. They exploit polarity to deliberately divide society into opposing factions that ultimately serve to feed the very same system. They leverage rhythm to predict your behavior with unnerving accuracy and then turn your inevitable highs and lows into predictable profit streams. The Hermetic laws were never truly lost. They were strategically monopolized by a select few. That is why this matters so profoundly right now. The carefully constructed illusion is beginning to wear dangerously thin. More and more people are experiencing that unsettling glitch in the matrix, sensing deep within their souls that the narrative we've been fed for so long simply doesn't add up. The Kybalion doesn't demand blind faith. It dares you to observe with unwavering clarity, to perceive reality not through the lens of pre-programmed belief, but through the recognition of underlying patterns. Because once you truly recognize the fundamental architecture of this realm, you cease merely reacting to its whims and begin consciously creating your own reality. Some truths are simply too potent, too disruptive to be openly shared on mainstream platforms like YouTube. That's precisely why we've carefully placed the deeper, more transformative insights inside our free Insights Academy newsletter, which also includes a limited time offer to receive a complimentary digital copy of the Kybalion ebook. The link awaits you in the description below. Don't let this opportunity slip through your fingers. Once you begin to view the world through this revolutionary new lens, things cease to appear random and chaotic. Seemingly random coincidences transform into meaningful messages, moments of profound pain become invaluable feedback, and the very fabric of energy itself becomes a language you can finally understand. Suddenly, you're no longer lost and adrift in the meaningless chaos of life. You're actively reading the very code that governs it. That is the true danger and the incredible power of the Kybalion. It doesn't simply wake you up from your slumber, it empowers you beyond measure, and the one thing they never wanted you to realize is the immense power you already possess. Everything, without exception, begins in the realm of the mind, not merely as a metaphor, but in the most literal sense possible. The Kybalion's first and most fundamental principle, the principle of mentalism, boldly proclaims that all is mind, the universe itself is mental. What you currently perceive and call reality is, in essence, the projection of an infinite, all-encompassing consciousness, and everything you experience, every single moment, every person you encounter, every event that unfolds, is deeply rooted in mental vibration. This means that your thoughts are not insignificant, fleeting moments of mental noise. They are, in fact, the very blueprint of your life, consciously or unconsciously shaping your world moment by moment. This is not simply about thinking positively. That's the commercially watered-down version, superficially packaged to sound superficially inspiring without actually granting you any real, lasting power. The underlying truth is far deeper and far more demanding. Every single thought you entertain sends out a ripple, a specific frequency that communicates with the energetic field that surrounds you. If you consistently think in terms of fear and limitation, you become a perfect match for fearful experiences and limiting circumstances. If you hold deeply ingrained beliefs of lack and scarcity, life will relentlessly mirror that scarcity back to you in countless ways. Your inner state is not merely a private affair. It is the very seed of every outer experience you will ever have. You are the generator, the source, the prime mover. The world diligently teaches you to look outward for answers. When something goes wrong, you instinctively look for the problem outside of yourself. When something goes right, you chalk it up to mere luck or chance. But the Kybalion boldly flips that lens, revealing that the outer world is nothing more than a perfect mirror reflecting your inner landscape. The mind is not simply a passive lens through which you view reality. It's the very projector that creates it. Every emotion, every deeply held belief, every expectation programs the holographic reality you navigate daily. Change the program, and the projected reality will inevitably change as well. But here's the crucial catch. Most people are not consciously running their own minds. They're unconsciously running inherited scripts, absorbed from early childhood, the pervasive influence of media, the rigid structure of schooling, past traumas, and the prevailing culture. They are reacting to the world, not consciously creating it. Mentalism not only reveals the incredible creative power of thought, it simultaneously reveals the immense responsibility that comes with it. You are always shaping your world, even when you are not consciously aware of it, and that's precisely where most people become trapped. They are unintentionally broadcasting signals of self-doubt, deep-seated insecurity, and crippling shame, and then wondering why life consistently feels so heavy and burdensome. To truly harness this transformative principle, you must consciously reclaim your mental space as if it were sacred ground. It's not simply about suppressing negativity or forcing yourself to think happy thoughts. It's about mindfully observing your thoughts as if they were objective data. Where did this particular thought originate? Is it truly my own? Is it ultimately serving me? That simple act of awareness begins the profound shift, because once you are truly aware, you are no longer passively reacting to your mind's whims. You are actively directing it with conscious intention. And the more intentional your thoughts become, the more precisely your reality will begin to respond. Mentalism also profoundly explains why practices like ritual, prayer, and intention setting are actually effective. It's not mere superstition or wishful thinking. It's based on fundamental mechanics. Focused thought combined with unwavering belief equals conscious creation. That's the underlying formula. It doesn't matter whether you chant in silent meditation or meticulously write your goals in a dedicated notebook. What truly matters is that you consciously align your internal frequency with the specific outcome you desire to manifest. This conscious alignment is not merely a spiritual practice, it's a fundamental law of the universe. This single principle alone can shatter the pervasive victim mindset. You are not stuck. You are not cursed. You are not powerless. You are actively broadcasting a signal, and the universe, like a perfectly tuned mirror, is responding in kind. The Kybalion doesn't simply ask you to think better. It demands that you fully own your innate mental power. Because the underlying truth is that you are not here to passively chase after reality. You are here to consciously create it. Nothing in this vast universe exists in complete isolation. The ancient Hermetic principle of correspondence states it plainly and powerfully. As above, so below, as below, so above. This isn't merely a poetic or philosophical concept. It's a fundamental code that unlocks deeper understanding. This law reveals that every level of reality, from the infinitesimally microscopic to the vastly cosmic, is interconnected in profound and often unseen ways. What happens on one plane of existence inevitably echoes through all the others, and when you truly understand this, you unlock the ability to read reality like a complex language, to decode your inner world through the lens of your outer experiences, and vice versa. You've likely witnessed this powerful principle at work countless times, whether you were consciously aware of it or not. Your very body mirrors the intricate patterns of the universe. The branching structure of your lungs remarkably mimics the branching patterns of trees. The complex neural networks within your brain reflect the vast structure of galaxies. The cyclical phases of the moon profoundly affect the tides in your blood, just as they move the Earth's vast oceans. These aren't merely random coincidences. They are fractal expressions, repeating manifestations of a single underlying source code that flows through every aspect of existence. When something feels deeply aligned and harmonious, it's because the underlying patterns are resonating across multiple levels of reality. Conversely, when life feels fundamentally off-kilter, it's usually because you're attempting to fix something externally that actually originated internally. This is precisely why the Kybalion's teachings are not abstract intellectual concepts. They are powerful diagnostic tools. When you experience illness, it's not merely a physical issue. It could very well be the manifestation of unresolved emotional energy. When you feel financially blocked, it may reflect a deeper, often unconscious fear of receiving abundance or a deeply ingrained belief in scarcity. Correspondence teaches you to view life through a symbolic lens, not just a literal one. Everything that unfolds in your life points to something else, something deeper. Your external circumstances serve as a readout of your internal state. That means that nothing is truly meaningless. Every problem you encounter, every moment of discomfort you experience, every pattern you repeatedly find yourself in is pointing you somewhere, offering you a map to deeper understanding and healing. The primary task isn't to simply fix the superficial symptoms. It's to understand the underlying message they are trying to convey. The Kybalion teaches that if you truly desire to shift your external reality, you must first become a dedicated student of patterns. Examine your life as if it were a complex system. What patterns consistently repeat? Where are the feedback loops that keep you stuck? What themes keep showing up in different forms, consistently carrying the same emotional signature? Once you consciously see the underlying link, the transformative healing can truly begin. Correspondence also works in the opposite direction, moving upwards from the micro to the macro. If you genuinely desire to understand the cosmos, study yourself with unwavering honesty and curiosity. Your body is, in essence, a miniature universe, perfectly reflecting the larger one. Your heart is like the sun, providing warmth and energy. Your breath is like the wind, constantly flowing and circulating. Your thoughts are like the weather patterns that shape your internal climate. Spiritual seekers often make the mistake of attempting to escape the body or transcend the material world. But Hermetic wisdom teaches the exact opposite. You are not separate from the divine. You are a direct and perfect expression of it. As above, so below. The sacred isn't located in some far-off, inaccessible place. It's right here, right now, within your very cells, your everyday struggles, your mundane daily rituals. The world is full of people desperately searching for signs and guidance. But when you truly grasp the profound principle of correspondence, you realize that everything is, in fact, a sign. Dreams, symbols, synchronicities, they aren't random occurrences. They are carefully encoded data originating from a higher plane of existence, filtered down into this one. When you begin to consciously read that data, you stop feeling as though life is simply happening to you and start feeling as though life is actively communicating with you, guiding you, supporting you. That shift alone is transformative, changing everything. You no longer blindly chase after answers. You mindfully observe the patterns, and in doing so, you begin to align yourself with the very rhythm of creation itself. You've been systematically taught to live in a world defined by rigid opposites. Good and evil, success and failure, love and hate, light and dark. The illusion is so convincingly constructed that you begin to genuinely believe that these opposing forces are inherently enemies, locked in an eternal battle for dominance. But the Kybalion reveals something far more profound, something that shatters this limiting illusion. Everything is dual in nature, but duality does not equate to fundamental division. What you perceive as opposing forces are, in reality, simply extremes on the very same spectrum. They are not fundamentally different in nature, only in their degree of manifestation. Hot and cold are both expressions of temperature, differing only in their intensity. Rich and poor are both states of abundance, measured at different points on a single scale. Love and hate are both emotional investments directed towards someone or something. The underlying energy is the same. Only the direction in which it flows changes. When you truly understand this, you stop fighting against life and begin to consciously transmute it, transforming base elements into gold. That is the very essence of the Hermetic principle of polarity, the conscious ability to shift your own energetic state by recognizing the illusory nature of extremes and learning how to skillfully move along the spectrum. This law is not merely a philosophical abstraction. It's deeply practical and profoundly transformative. Think about your own emotional states. Depression and joy are not fundamentally different substances. They're different frequencies vibrating on the same scale. If you find yourself locked in a state of paralyzing fear, you don't need to obliterate that fear completely. You simply need to consciously move up the scale just slightly toward courage. From that initial point of courage, you can then shift again, from courage to hope, from hope to clarity, and finally, from clarity to inner peace. Transmutation is not about escaping reality. It's about skillfully navigating it. And once you learn how to consciously move along the spectrum, your emotions cease controlling you, and you begin consciously directing them. The system we currently live under actively thrives on polarity because it thrives on conflict. Left versus right, us versus them. You're constantly being conditioned to pick a side, blindly fight the opposing side, and remain trapped in a limiting binary that ultimately benefits someone else. But polarity isn't simply a political weapon. It's a spiritual prison that keeps you from realizing your full potential. If you're stuck in rigid black and white thinking, you are incredibly vulnerable to manipulation. You cannot truly create from that limited space. You can only react endlessly. But when you understand that every negative emotion inherently carries within it the seed of its positive counterpart, you gain access to tremendous power. Anger, when transmuted, contains within it the potent energy of passion. Fear, when understood, contains the primal will to protect. Sadness, when honored, contains the very essence of love. You can consciously extract the underlying energy without being completely ruled by the destructive form it takes. That is what emotional alchemy truly is, taking dense, heavy energy and skillfully converting it into something useful, something aligned with your higher purpose, something that serves your growth. The Kybalion doesn't tell you to suppress or ignore what you're feeling. It guides you to skillfully refine it, transforming it into something valuable. This fundamentally changes the way you deal with yourself and others. You stop labeling your emotions as inherently good or bad. You stop chasing after constant artificial positivity and instead begin seeking clarity and understanding. You realize that the ultimate goal isn't to live exclusively on one side of the spectrum, it's to consciously navigate the entire spectrum with skill and grace. This shift is where true spiritual maturity begins, not in pretending to be somehow above the inevitable darkness, but in learning how to skillfully wield it, not in denying pain, but in using it as potent fuel for your ongoing evolution. You begin to consciously notice how everything has a hidden symmetry. Challenges inevitably bring growth. Loss clears space for new gain. Silence gives meaning to sound. The apparent opposites don't actually cancel each other out. They complete each other, forming a unified whole. And when you can hold both perspectives without being thrown off balance, you have stepped into true mastery. This is what the Kybalion ultimately teaches, not how to escape the world, but how to master its underlying mechanics. Not how to transcend emotion, but how to alchemize it into wisdom. Once you understand that nothing is truly separate, not even within yourself, you begin to live in genuine alignment, not as a fragmented self perpetually chasing after an elusive peace, but as a unified force consciously creating it from within. Life inherently moves in waves. Nothing ever stays still for long. There are predictable seasons in every aspect of existence: your energy levels, your relationships, your finances, your mental state. You inevitably rise, you inevitably fall, you expand, you contract. The Kybalion names this fundamental movement for what it truly is: rhythm. And like all Hermetic principles, this isn't merely a poetic metaphor. It's a fundamental law that governs all of creation. Rhythm is the inherent pendulum swing of existence. It governs the tides of the oceans, the orbits of the planets, the very rhythm of your breath, the steady beat of your heart, and yes, it governs the trajectory of your entire life. The fundamental problem is that most people are completely unaware that they are being pulled back and forth by this powerful swing. They mistakenly believe that their inevitable highs are random victories, and their inevitable lows are deeply personal failures. But neither of those interpretations is true. They are both predictable, inherent parts of the universal rhythm. Rhythm always seeks balance. What goes up must inevitably come down, not as a form of punishment, but as a necessary correction. The universe consistently compensates for extremes, striving to maintain equilibrium. If you rise too quickly, fueled by ego and unchecked ambition, you may find yourself being pulled back down into humility. If you sink too deeply into despair and self-pity, life will often nudge you toward an unexpected breakthrough. These aren't random, disconnected events. They're the inherent echo of the principle of rhythm at work. But here's the crucial part that no one ever tells you. The sway of the pendulum can be neutralized. You don't have to simply ride it blindly, bouncing from one extreme to the other. The Kybalion teaches that with conscious awareness you can anticipate the swing and consciously anchor your own state, remaining steady and centered while others are tossed around by the unpredictable tides. Most people are caught in a perpetual cycle of reaction. They desperately chase the highs, dopamine rushes, fleeting excitement, external validation, only to inevitably crash when they lose access to those temporary sources of stimulation. Then they panic during the lows. Confusion, frustrating setbacks, pervasive boredom, and frantically scramble for quick fixes to alleviate the discomfort. It's an exhausting and ultimately unsustainable way to live. It's also entirely avoidable, because the pendulum swing is only truly dangerous when you identify with it, when you forget that you are the conscious observer of the wave, not the wave itself. When you forget this fundamental truth, you needlessly suffer. But when you remember your center, you can skillfully move with the rhythm without ever losing yourself to it. This understanding ties directly into the powerful principle of cause and effect. Everything you experience, without exception, is the direct result of a preceding cause. Nothing simply happens randomly. And if you don't consciously create the cause, you will inevitably end up living by someone else's. The Kybalion makes this unequivocally clear. The masses are largely ruled by affect. They passively react to political events, carefully crafted media narratives, pervasive social pressures, and volatile collective moods. They are, in essence, the pawns in a complex game of influence they don't even realize they're playing. But the initiate, the one who genuinely understands the underlying laws, moves through the world very differently. They consciously create the cause, setting the stage for their desired outcomes. They act with intention while others simply react to external stimuli. That is the fundamental difference between the operator and the operated, the one who controls their destiny and the one who is passively controlled. Your thoughts, your words, and your emotions are all potent seeds. What you consciously plant, you will inevitably harvest. There is no shortcut, no magic bypass. If you sow seeds of fear and doubt, you will reap a harvest of fear and doubt. If you act in accordance with truth and integrity, you will inevitably receive clarity and alignment. Understanding cause and effect frees you from the limiting shackles of randomness, obliterates the victim narrative, and forces you to ask yourself the hard yet essential questions. What am I consciously choosing right now? What kind of energy am I investing in? What potential consequences am I setting in motion? When you skillfully pair the understanding of rhythm with the understanding of cause and effect, you become something incredibly rare and valuable, stable in the midst of chaos. You understand that a temporary low doesn't signify failure, it's simply the backswing that precedes a new rise. You see that consistent thought and intentional action compound over time, ultimately acting like gravity in your favor. You stop being shocked and derailed by life's inevitable ups and downs because you understand that life is consistently responding to you. And when the pendulum inevitably swings, you ride it with grace and skill, not because you're lucky, but because you are consciously aligned with the underlying laws. The Kybalion isn't promising you immunity from life's inherent changes. It's giving you the powerful tools to consciously navigate them with precision and intentionality. Rhythm is very real, as is karma, as is alignment, but none of them are permanently fixed. The more deeply you understand the natural flow of the universe, the more skillfully you can move with it and ultimately shape it. That's what it truly means to live not at the mercy of reality, but as its conscious co-creator, shaping your destiny with unwavering intention. You've been systematically lied to about the true nature of gender. For most, it's been superficially reduced to mere biology, personal identity, or divisive politics. But the Kybalion strips away all of that noise and reveals something far more essential and profound. Gender is, at its core, a fundamental principle of creation itself. It exists not only in physical bodies, but also in thoughts, in energy, in ideas, and in the very structure of the universe. The principle of gender states that everything, without exception, contains both masculine and feminine qualities, and these two fundamental forces are always working together in dynamic interplay, whether you consciously realize it or not. Every thought you think, every intention you birth into reality, every manifestation you desire to create, all happens through the harmonious interplay of these two distinct yet equally essential energies. The masculine principle is inherently directive. It gives form, pushes forward with intention, initiates new action, penetrates existing structures. The feminine principle is inherently receptive. It nurtures, holds space, allows for expansion, and gives birth to new creations. Neither principle is superior to the other. Both are absolutely essential for creation to occur. In fact, nothing can be created without the skillful dance between them, and that includes your very own life. The primary reason many people feel blocked, stagnant, or deeply unfulfilled isn't because they lack resources or motivation. It's because their inner masculine and feminine energies are at war with each other, or worse, one of them has been completely suppressed. You've been subtly and not so subtly taught to favor one over the other. Society often rewards the masculine, decisive action, logical reasoning, relentless drive, unwavering discipline. Meanwhile, the feminine, intuition, open receptivity, effortless flow, authentic emotion is often viewed as weak, secondary, or even detrimental. But this imbalance creates chaos, both on an individual level and on a global scale. When the masculine energy dominates without the skillful guidance of the feminine, you inevitably get aggression without empathy, unchecked ambition without wisdom, rigid structure without soul. When the feminine energy is ungrounded by the clarifying influence of the masculine, you get overwhelming sensitivity without clear direction, chaotic energy without clarity, boundless inspiration without the discipline to follow through. You can readily see this profound imbalance everywhere you look, in unbalanced relationships, in ineffective governments, in soulless corporate systems, even in fragmented approaches to spirituality. But here's the transformative shift. Once you consciously begin to balance both the masculine and feminine principles within yourself, something profoundly unlocks. You become a powerful vessel for true creation, acting as a bridge between the seen and the unseen. Your creative ideas don't simply float away like vapor. They take solid form and find their place in the world. Your discipline isn't a source of relentless, joyless grinding. It flows naturally, fueled by a deeper purpose. You stop relying on brute force and instead begin working in harmony with the natural laws that govern the process of creation. Your masculine energy sets the clear intention, and your feminine energy skillfully brings it to life. Together, they make you incredibly powerful, not by imitating others or blindly following external directives, but by authentically expressing your own unique wholeness. You can see this dynamic at play in every aspect of existence. A thought, initiated by your conscious mind, masculine, is received and nurtured by your subconscious mind, feminine, where it takes root and grows until it ultimately manifests into tangible form. This isn't just abstract theory, it's the fundamental mechanics of reality creation. It's why rituals work, why imagination creates, why the union of clear intention and authentic emotion is the very foundation of all magic, manifestation, and inner alchemy. The principle of gender elegantly explains it all. This law also powerfully reveals why the suppression of either polarity inevitably leads to spiritual fragmentation. When people disconnect from the feminine aspect within themselves, they lose access to their innate creativity, their capacity for empathy, and their intuitive guidance. When they disconnect from the masculine aspect, they lose their sense of clear direction, the ability to set healthy boundaries, and the laser-like focus needed to bring their visions to life. Balance doesn't necessarily mean a perfect 50-50 split at all times. It means conscious harmony, skillfully knowing which energy to lead with in any given situation, when to actively listen, when to take decisive action, when to hold space, and when to consciously release. Gender, in the context of the Kybalion, is not primarily about your chosen identity. It's about your inherent capacity to consciously create. It's not about rigidly conforming to the roles of male or female. It's about becoming a complete, integrated, energetic being who knows how to skillfully receive inspiration and bring it to life with precision and unwavering intention. Every timeless spiritual teaching recognizes this essential balance. Yin and Yang, Shiva and Shakti, the sun and the moon. All of them are ultimately pointing to the same underlying truth, that creation is not a random act of chaos. It's governed by law. And once you master the fundamental principle of gender, you're no longer simply stumbling aimlessly through your life. You're consciously conducting it like a skilled orchestra conductor, bringing forth harmonious and beautiful creations. There's a very specific reason the Kybalion doesn't read like a step-by-step instruction manual. It wasn't written to entertain the masses. It was intentionally designed to awaken a select few. It doesn't waste time with shallow spiritual comforts or vague, feel-good affirmations. Instead, it offers precise, carefully encoded truths, raw, unadulterated, hermetic laws that, once internalized, fundamentally change the way you perceive everything. These teachings aren't poetic metaphors. They're intensely practical frameworks, and the deeper you delve into them, the more you realize that this isn't simply a book. It's a mirror reflecting your innermost self. It shows you exactly where you are still asleep, where you're still clinging to limiting beliefs, where you're still giving away your power. These 35 core teachings are not explicitly numbered within the original text. They're skillfully embedded like hidden frequencies, waiting to be consciously extracted. But when you do extract them, you begin to see the underlying structure beneath the surface illusion. Not a collection of comforting philosophies or abstract beliefs, but the fundamental laws that govern all of existence. 1. All is mind. The universe is mental. Everything begins with thought, and your thoughts shape your reality. 2. Reality is a projection of consciousness. Change the projector from within, and the screen will inevitably reflect that change. 3. What you think repeatedly becomes the script you live out. Choose your thoughts with intention and rewrite your story. 4. Polarity is an illusion. Opposites are the same energy expressed in different degrees. Transmute your experience by shifting your perspective. 5. Pain is not punishment. It's feedback from misalignment, guiding you back to your true path. 6. Your inner world consistently creates your outer world every single time. Cultivate your inner garden and watch your outer world flourish. 7. You are not your emotions. You are the conscious observer, the silent witness, the master of your emotional landscape. 8. What you suppress gains power over you. What you consciously transmute becomes potent wisdom. 9. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers waiting to be heard. Cultivate inner stillness and listen to the whispers of your soul. 10. As above, so below. Patterns consistently repeat across all dimensions. Understand the microcosm, and you understand the macrocosm. 11. Rhythm is everywhere. Learn to recognize the swing, and you'll stop being blindsided by life's inevitable changes. 12. Reaction is slavery to external forces. Conscious action, born from inner alignment, is true freedom. 13. Your beliefs aren't inherently personal. They were skillfully installed through conditioning. Question everything and reclaim your mind. 14. What you resist will inevitably persist. What you consciously accept, you gain the power to shift. 15. Every thought carries a specific frequency. Your life consistently tunes to that signal. Consciously choose your thoughts to resonate with your desired reality. 16. Spiritual growth isn't always gentle light. It's often experienced as intense heat, immense pressure, and uncomfortable friction. Embrace the challenges and emerge stronger. 17. You don't attract what you merely want. You attract what you truly are, what you deeply embody, what you vibrate with. 18. The subconscious mind is the fertile womb of reality. Plant your seeds wisely and nurture them with love and intention. 19. Emotion is simply energy in motion. Consciously move it, or it will inevitably move you. 20. Gender inherently exists in all things. Every creative idea is a pregnancy waiting to be manifested into form. 21. Knowledge alone isn't power. Consistently applied knowledge is true power. Embody what you learn and transform your life. 22. Cause and effect is constant and unwavering. Nothing is truly random. Every effect has a preceding cause. 23. Fear is a distorted form of intense focus. Consciously shift the lens and redirect your energy towards creation. 24. Patterns are the universal language of creation. Learn to consciously read them and unlock the secrets of the universe. 25. The world doesn't intentionally test you. It accurately reflects you back to yourself. See yourself in the world and understand your true nature. 26. What you habitually blame, you inadvertently hand your power over to. Take responsibility and reclaim your sovereignty. 27. The present moment is your only true point of power, not the past, not the imagined future. Live fully now and create your destiny. 28. Focused thought plus authentic emotion consistently equals magnetic creation. That's the alchemical formula. 29. You're not primarily here to be good. You're here to be true to yourself, to express your authentic essence. 30. Resistance creates inner conflict and suffering. Conscious surrender reveals alignment and inner peace. 31. True success is ultimately internal harmony made visible in the external world. Cultivate inner peace and success will naturally follow. 32. Miracles are simply aligned actions operating within the framework of universal law. Align yourself with the laws of creation and witness miracles unfold. 33. The Kybalion isn't a secret anymore, but most still won't truly see it. Open your eyes and embrace the truth. 34. Your perceived reality is not solid or fixed. It's skillfully scripted. Root the code in truth and rewrite your destiny. 35. You are both the lock and the key. You have the power to unlock your full potential and create the life you were always meant to live. These profound truths don't just sound appealing, they consciously expose everything you've been systematically taught to ignore. Most people fail to see them because they're unconsciously looking for easy permission instead of demanding true power. But the Kybalion isn't about passively waiting for something to happen. It's about actively remembering what you already know deep within your soul. You don't need another external guru, another complicated ritual, or another fleeting spiritual high. You need to internalize these powerful laws and live by them, not once in a while when it feels convenient, but every single day, especially when it feels challenging or uncomfortable. The Kybalion isn't a book intended for the masses, it never was. It's a practical manual specifically for those who are genuinely ready to take full responsibility for their own energy, their own focus, and their own conscious creation. These 35 core truths are not merely pieces of intellectual knowledge. They are powerful activations that awaken something within you. Each one is a doorway waiting for you to consciously walk through it with unwavering awareness, because once you do, there's no turning back to your previous state of unconsciousness. You stop passively hoping for life to magically change, and you actively start changing the very life you create with deliberate intention and unwavering clarity. You were never truly meant to be powerful, not in this current world, not within the limiting framework of the system that raised you, trained you, and subtly boxed you into a life of quiet obedience. The very moment you truly realize that the timeless principles in the Kybalion were not just esoteric musings but practical tools for actual spiritual sovereignty, everything irrevocably shifts. You start to consciously see the underlying design, the hidden patterns. The systematic suppression of this knowledge wasn't accidental. These transformative teachings were deliberately hidden for the very same reason anything of genuine value is hidden, because they fundamentally threaten those currently in control. True sovereignty means ownership of the self. It means that no external structure, no limiting belief system, no controlling institution, no self-proclaimed authority gets to dictate your inner reality or define your potential. A person who truly understands how to consciously create their own desired outcomes, skillfully regulate their own emotions, consistently align with the universal laws, and powerfully manifest their will is impossible to control through traditional means. That person doesn't need saving, fixing, or governing by external forces. That person is inherently dangerous to systems built on dependency, distraction, and the manipulation of fear. And that's precisely why you were subtly handed limiting dogma instead of empowering law. Religion offered conditional salvation, not genuine alignment with truth. Science often reduced the vastness of consciousness to mere firings of neurons. Education often trained you to simply repeat information, not to deeply realize your own creative power. None of it was consciously designed to make you sovereign. It was primarily designed to make you manageable, controllable, and predictable. So instead of teaching you that your thoughts are inherently powerful, they subtly taught you to worship thought only as intellect, to perpetually live in your head, and to fear your own authentic feelings. Instead of skillfully showing you the rhythmic cycles of life, they subtly convinced you that your inevitable lowest moments were deeply personal failures and signs of inherent inadequacy. Instead of revealing the true function of emotion and polarity, they labeled you too sensitive when you felt things too deeply, and cold when you chose to withdraw and protect your energy. Instead of giving you the powerful keys to consciously working with energy, they buried the entire vehicle and left you passively staring at the road ahead, lost and confused. But here's what those in control didn't anticipate. You waking up, right? So, in essence, what we've explored here isn't just about esoteric knowledge. It's about remembering the incredible power you already possess. It's about stepping out of the role of a passive observer and into the role of a conscious creator, guided by the fundamental laws that govern our reality. It's about reclaiming your sovereignty and living a life aligned with truth, not just believing in it. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What resonated most deeply with you in this exploration of the Kybalion? Do you have any questions or perhaps experiences to share about how these principles have touched your own life? Jump into the comments below. Let's start a conversation and build a community of conscious creators together. And if you found this insightful and want to continue exploring these profound truths, please subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss out on future discussions and insights that can help you unlock your full potential. Thanks for being here, and I look forward to connecting with you in the comments.